bloody fantastic.
Hello everybody, my name is Goodboy and welcome to a video on the top 5 heroes that are best to spam right now to gain some juicy MMR. Before we begin the video, like, subscribe, share and hit that notification bell. So at number 5 is Rikimaru. Rikimaru is currently boasting approximately a 54%-ish win rate and is seeing the best successes, well, kind of ironically, off lane. Although there is a little statistical blip that says he's actually best in the jungle, but I wouldn't want to get into why that's nonsense. But yeah, so played as an off lane hero. Now what Riki can do with relatively small amounts of farm is come online, especially once you get that Diffusal Blade or so. Getting Diffusal Blade obviously is some pretty hard farming for the hero, but once you do have it, Riki can be pretty horrific to deal with, bearing in mind that he'll jump you, burn your mana, slow you, and then put you in a cloud of smoke which you struggle to get out of because you're so slow, as he steadily beats you to death, dealing all that backstab damage. It's very, very easy for him to secure kills, and then if that doesn't work, screw it. He'll just use tricks of the trade and try and take you out that way. Naturally, of course, usual caveats apply with invisible heroes, which is, you know, a responsible person will buy sentry wards and dust. And funnily enough, dust works pretty well on Riki. But at the same time, that's not so much really the issue. It's more how Riki scales, particularly into the late game, especially with successive kills and farms, that makes him particularly difficult to deal with. And so the hero is you know, the rat hero of Dota, as it were, or not so much, you know, like you're doing a push strategy like a rat strategy, more like he looks like a rat. So Riki is offering formidable fun. And can, like I say, very quickly come online and stomp people, and it can be very easy to roam and kill. Weaknesses, though, is that if you're overly aggressive, you can overextend yourself, and then a warded enemy team, with sentries in particular, will then catch you out in the act and murder you brutally. So, naturally, of course, do look out for that. And number 4 is a hero that, to be honest, has always been really good and has been good for ages and hasn't really been trolled with by IceFrog. Probably one of the safest heroes to grind any successive levels of MMR is actually Underlord. Underlord is typically played in the offlane, and that is generally where I recommend him. In fact, to be honest, most of the heroes with their formidable win rates are all done in the offlane. Have a think about what that means. And Underlord remains highly durable, highly tanky, can push really well, can defend his team really well, and in a team fight does terrific levels of damage and disable. And to be honest, even his atrophy aura really messes with people and their output. A very, very solid tanky hero that can offer your team a lot of utility. So great, played very easily with minimal items as well, although it is better to obviously get some levels of items on him. He shouldn't be ever played as a position 5, I don't think. But this wonderful position 3-ish hero or 4 can offer a huge amount of game impact for very little cost. And to be honest, he's quite good fun to long-term spam. So do obviously check out this hero, and in any opportunity you can, play him as much as possible. So in number 3 is Necrophos. Now Necrophos is almost certainly going to rise to prominence very, very soon in terms of, well, you know, the pro scene. Currently, Necrophos has been ignored, largely speaking, by IceFrog because he's not seen as that particularly threatening right now. But as the meta shifts, he probably will do. This healing hero, similar to both to Underlord and Riki, generally tends to see his best win rate in the offlane, even better than actually mid. It can, due to his low attack damage, it can be actually quite difficult for the hero to run viably in the mid, but it still does well in both lanes. The off lane is once again where Necrophos sees huge amounts of success. His Death Pulse, his Heartstopper aura, even his Ghost Shroud all help give him massive levels of regen and defensive capabilities, while he can also passively damage the enemies, making him actually really annoying to deal with. And yes, it is quite difficult for Necrophos generally to get last hits, but it can work pretty nicely. One of the most damaging and terrifying things about Necrophos is when he can successfully ult you, especially when you're playing a core hero, because it puts you on cooldown for so long. It really is a terrifying ability to play against, and I think late game helps the guy run into become just such a threat. Not to mention, of course, if you transition to carry by carrying, for example, a Radiance and other items like Dagon, it can be very easy for Necrophos to dish out insane levels of damage, allowing him to secure easy wins. So definitely worth playing, and again, not super difficult to play either. So no wonder the guy's roasting it in the pub. So for number 2, it's kind of once again, and this is the scary trend for literally all of the heroes that I've mentioned so far. Ursa does best in the off lane. Or should I say second best in the off lane. The only other lane he does slightly better in is mid lane, but it's almost an even, it's almost a coin toss between which one's better. Technically speaking, does slightly better in mid, and if you think about what he does in mid, it's pretty scary. Quite hard to harass the guy, and as soon as he hits you, those Fury Swipes stack for what feels like forever, and then he continues to stack those Fury Swipes until death approaches you, or until, you know, he overpowers you, and then welcome to death. So pretty scary person to lane against, especially in the mid. But typically, if you play because he's such a strong laner, so put him in any lane. He doesn't actually have a negative win rate in any of the lanes, but you put him in any lane and he fares very, very well, especially when you've got some kind of disabling support. So putting him in the off lane to totally ruin the core that is trying to farm there gives you quite a good tactical game advantage, because while the core is then trying to spend all its time in the mid game AFK farming, you're all destroying towers and securing objectives, or at least in theory you should be. So that tends to help quite a lot. Obviously, hero offers massive levels, is highly durable, secures Roshan objectives pretty nicely, and in the mid game and in the laning phase is a complete terrorist, securing lots and lots of kills. See, after phase boots, Blink Dagger, and then Ursa tends to fly away. Obviously, do look at it's very easy for the hero to go off the boil in the late game, so do look out for that. But with, again, a consistent spam, Ursa will offer you lots and lots of MMR with minimal difficulty. And finally, at number 1, and in many ways it grieves me to say it because this is always the case, and it pretty much always wins every top video ever. It's Viper. Viper is one of of all the heroes on the list, is the only one that actually is considerably better in the mid lane and should pretty much always be played in the mid. You can play him off lane, and that's okay. Really don't recommend him as a safe lane, but you know, mid is sort of best. And of course it goes into the whole magic damage build. This is the Rod of Atos, usually into Guardian Greaves, into Ags, and then any sort of further extension or protection items like BKB or, you know, whatever floats your boat really. That generally helps Viper to fly away, and he tends to dish out so much magic damage. It's absolutely crazy. And so by playing to that particular build, Viper has found incredible prominence in the meta right now and is easily one of the most dominant heroes. So I really, really recommend that you go for Viper spamming if you want to secure yourself lots of great successive MMR. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and of course, as always, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more great stuff coming soon. Goodbye.